Hi, I'm Lisa Rangel with Chameleon Resumes, the premier executive resume writing company, and thank you so much for joining me today. Today, we're going to talk about how to write a modern executive cover letter. Now, I'm going to start this video off by saying I'm not a big fan of cover letters. When I was a recruiter for 13 years, I often joke that I may have read 13 cover letters in 13 years. I was not a big cover letter reader as a recruiter, but here's the thing. Many recruiters and hiring managers do like cover letters. And a cover letter is a tool, just like a resume, just like a networking letter, just like a LinkedIn profile. So you need to have the arsenal of tools in your job landing toolbox, and a cover letter is one of those, because you do want to have a really good one in case you come across a job posting that is asking for one, so you want to have one ready. And if you know of a recruiter that is looking or asking for a cover letter, you want to be able to, again, to have a solid one that you can send and feel good about. And they're just an important part of the process, regardless of my opinion of them, right? Because I'm only one person and there is a myriad of people doing hiring. And so you need to make sure you have everything ready to make sure that you are appealing to the person that you need to appeal to for the job that you want. And so cover letter can be one of those tools if asked for and you want to be ready. So I'm going to give you 6 ways and a bonus tip that you can write an awesome executive cover letter that is modern and progressive and will increase the chances of it being read. So the first is keep it short. Literally imagine your cover letter being read by somebody on a phone screen or, on a desktop, but it really should not be more than like a scroll or two on a phone and half a page on a desktop screen. So they shouldn't have to scroll on a desktop screen to read your cover letter. It really should be just in the one screenshot. You just want to keep it short, and because it will increase its readability. And it's most likely going to be in the form of an email. You don't want to attach a cover letter to an email. Use the cover letter content in the email. Don't make somebody open up an attachment to read your cover letter. So, again, it shouldn't be more than a scroll or two on a mobile screen, and it definitely should not be needing to be scrolled to be read on a laptop or a desktop screen. So that's number 1. Number 2 is, address your cover letter to an actual person. Do the homework, do the research, and address it to a person whenever possible. To the whom it may concern, or dear hiring manager. It just shows that you didn't really do the homework. And, personally, as a recruiter, I would rather see a name and it be the wrong name, but maybe it is someone in HR, or it is someone, if you're, going for an IT leadership role and it's somebody in IT leadership. Like, I'd rather the attempt looked to be made, because that person can then send it to the right person possibly. But to whom you may concern and dear hiring manager stuff, like it's just never a good look, in my opinion. And appearing to do the research properly is the best light you want to be in, but appearing to do the research but missing the mark a smidge in terms of the person that you include as the address on the cover letter is always the second best option, in my opinion, because it shows you're trying and it shows you're doing the research. The third option is indicate in your cover letter, or your cover e-note is another way I've started to put that, where because it's an electronic note, right? You're sending a much shorter version than a traditional cover letter. So sometimes it'll be called a cover e-note, is to include how you discovered the person. And you want to make sure because the first time somebody gets this is especially if it's an unsolicited resume and an unsolicited application. If you found someone's email address and you're emailing them, the best thing to do is indicate a little bit in the first line or two how you came upon their information and came upon to write them. Because I can tell you that, and you might relate to this, if somebody emails you out of the blue, your first possibly gut instinct is like, well, how'd you find me? How'd you get my name? So address that. And it could also be a point of connecting. It could be the point of maybe how you found their name through an article they wrote, through seeing them on an attendee list at a conference that you were at and you didn't get to meet at the conference, whether it was virtual or in person. It could be, just doing research. You could have been referred to them by someone. So indicate how you came across them just to make a connection and put their mind at ease as to how you found them. The fourth item to making a modern executive cover letter is to make sure that you are specific in what you are asking for. Do not ask for just, a job, or ask where, if they're hiring. Indicate what specifically you are looking for and if they'd be open to a conversation with you about it, whether it's a posted job or there isn't a posted job, but you know that there might be opportunity at that organization based on what you do and based on your research. So, but be specific about the types of jobs that you're looking for if it's not actually referring to an actual posted job. And if obviously there's an actual posted job that you're looking to apply to, or you've applied online and now you're trying to make a connection to a person, make sure you're explicit about why you're reaching out, and minimize the homework, if not eliminate the homework that this reader has to do in knowing what you want. Do not expect them to find you the right role. Do not expect recruiters, hiring managers, networking contacts to find the right role for you. Be specific about what you're looking for to help them help you. Always take that angle when you're writing your cover letter. The next step, the fifth step that will help you have a modern executive cover letter is it's basically a offshoot of number one in terms of keep it short. Do not write. The fifth item is to not do a prose version of your resume. Do not write a cover letter that's so long, so detailed that it's basically regurgitating what your resume is, but in prose form. They have your resume. So make sure that your cover letter complements that. And with that said, this is almost like 0.5 is to make sure your cover letter is independent of your resume. Make sure your resume is not dependent on your cover letter in order to be read and digested and comprehended, because there's a chance your cover letter may not be read. So make sure your resume can stand alone and your cover letter is a complement to your resume and not dependent, or your resume is not dependent on the cover letter in order to be understood. So keep it short. Don't make it a prose version of your resume, and make sure these are two complementary documents that work in tandem, but if they were separated, would still make sense. That's the key. And then point number 6 is to help them connect the dots as to why they should have a conversation with you. You're not trying to convince them to hire you in this letter. The goal of this letter is to get them to have a conversation with you. So connect the dots, why this would be of benefit to them, why it would be of interest to them, how you might be able to add value, how you may have some insight, how you may help them solve a problem that you've observed from the outside or you've done for other companies similar to them, or how you've helped them capitalize, how you can help them capitalize on opportunity before them based on some observations you've made, research you've done, or how you've done for competitors or similar companies in their space. Again, conjure some interest and foster some interest into why it's going to be a benefit to speak to you. And that's the goal of doing this letter, is to really help them see and connect the dots for them why they should have a conversation with you. So, and lastly, this is maybe the second bonus tip, given that I gave you a 0.5 and now this extra one is, don't forget to sandwich all of this content into thanking them for their time, showing polite enthusiasm, and that you are eager to hear about the next steps and in moving your candidacy forward and having an exploratory conversation if that's the nature of the cover letter that you're writing. So niceties, in my opinion, do go a long way, especially when they're genuine and heartfelt. So if this helps you and you know of someone who will benefit from this, I'm gonna ask you to share the video. If you'd like more information and examples on what awesome cover letters look like and how they can be presented in a modern way, then I'm going to also direct you to the description and comments below. I do have a cover letter ebook that I've created and that I've written with samples in it and more directions on how to write modern cover letter e-notes. And that's what it's titled, How to Write Modern Cover Letter E-Notes. And, I have that for sale in the link below in the description and in the comments. So if you have any questions, feel free to email me at lr@chameleonresumes.com. I read and reply to every comment and every email. And again, if you know somebody who'll benefit from this video, I'm going to ask you to share it. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel so you don't miss next week's video. And feel free to comment. And I think that's about it. So I hope this was helpful. Have a great week and look forward to seeing you next week. Take good care.